And good evening. Hello once again from everybody here at GSR. Today we're going to bring you another episode of the GSR Podcast, this time on tenant management. Here with me once again is Mr. Ian Cipriano.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
And I'm your host, Jose Angelo Zolveda, and let's just get right to it. So, tenant management.
Yes.
I'm a tenant.
So you can relate more on this.
Yes, definitely. I heard you talk about this earlier with me before, that there's more trouble to be had with tenant management compared to with billing and collections.
Yes.
So tell me, sir, what kind of troublemaking am I, the tenant, up to? What sort of stuff do you need to look out for dito sa tenant management?
Yes. Last topic that we had is about those troubles when it comes on rental payment. Actually, it's very troublesome talaga, the rental payment. It's the most, not really the most, but the most important thing with the owners to solve that trouble. Pero there's like another troubles naman na we encounter with managing a tenant, not only in collecting their rental payments. So for example, those tenants that not really foreign tenant, iba-iba, even local, it's still happening also. Like they have those things. Every tenant has their own things to put inside the unit. Yeah, to deliver inside the unit. But most of the tenants now, or a first-timer tenants, or even not even it's not a first-timer tenant, they're not so familiar with the condominium rules.
Okay.
Condominium rules, because every condominium, every developer has their different rules. So, for example, they want to put a thing inside the unit. They need to process a gate pass, but they're not a gate pass signatory. So this processing thing involves the property management team also. Property management team is the one informing or coordinating the property admin to allow those tenants to put something or even to pull out something from the unit. So those things, there's a process that we need to follow with the building rules, because these things will protect also owner's property. Baka magulat na lang tayo, hindi na pala gamit yung nilalabas.
So that's a thing, that they just steal owner property. I didn't know.
Yes, that's one thing. And then baka magulat na lang tayo, pa-move out na pala, naglalabas na ng gamit.
And it's not theirs.
Yes.
Oh no.
And then may iwan na utilities, so they will left some bills and they will left some damages. Yes. So we need to, that's why the admin is like parang the admin is requiring us to inform them, para we cannot blame them that they allow to go out this tenant, but it's already, this tenant is not paying like that, and then those items is not property of the tenants. And then aside from that, when it comes on, this is a gate pass thing only, gate pass and thing only. Aside from that, if some tenants wants to deliver some of their personal items or personal things, for example, we experienced recently, it's very recently lang to. One of our tenants in Shang Properties, he wants to he bought a cooking equipment.
Okay.
And this cooking equipment is not allowed on the building regulations.
Oh, okay.
So this cooking equipment uses the methane gas. So it's not allowed because it will trigger the smoke detectors. So those things is tenants should coordinate to us. We need to tell them the regulations. We need to explain them what it's okay, what it's not, so we can like inform the admin.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense, to make sure that, admin and tenant don't end up doing anything stupid together, and also to make sure that your stuff doesn't get stolen.
Yes.
I didn't think that was a common problem, but well, I feel bad for knowing that some tenants will do that. Like, oh, that's a nice couch. It's mine now.
Yes. So because recently I just yes tell that because recently we had an experience with this one. The tenant didn't inform us that he will put like kind of this cooking equipment,
Mm.
and then he parang he uses this equipment inside the unit, and then the smoke detector triggered. So it's alarm. The alarm was para nagulat kami, and then that's why the tenant has a penalty. It's
Ah,
20,000 penalty
because the
because of
entire
that.
building had to evacuate.
Because of that, yes. And
Oh
then
no.
it could lead to the like the for example, it could lead for a fire inside the unit to damage the unit, or even the security of other occupants in the properties.
I see why that would be a problem. I'm remembering the fire alarm event we had recently in the company where pretty much everyone was swarmed out of the building because someone was cooking. So the tenant didn't know that this wasn't allowed by the
Yes.
building
So that's why it's very important at first tenant management. At the start, we should inform the tenant.
right away.
Yes,
Hmm.
the house regulations of the building rules of the properties.
Hmm.
They have different building rules. Yes.
That explains why we have the building rules papers that we hand out to the tenant,
Yes,
the
before
sheets.
moving in.
Yeah,
Yes,
that we
before
need to
moving
make them
in.
sign because God, sayang yung 20K na yan kapag nangyari yun. You're
Yes,
evacuating
yes.
an entire building and you're losing a month's rent. And both the company and admin is pissed at you for causing such trouble.
Yes.
Man.
So basically, we're doing this tenant management
Mm-hmm.
not only to protect the owner's property, but to comply with the building rules to have this tenant to have a convenient stay. So as they are following the rules, they know the rules, they understand the rules. So it's more convenient for them also.
Mm.
Because if it's happen, so and then they don't know, there's a possibility that the property admin will hold them, or even to the point, the worst case scenario, will evict them for doing these things.
Oh, and yeah, you don't want that to happen because it hurts the
Yes.
tenant, it hurts the company, the property stops generating income. See, I learned from the from our last podcast. One of the big goals is to keep that property with its income generation, and
Mm,
not properly warning the tenant could endanger that. I see.
yes. Every tenant has different concerns. Eh.
Hmm.
Not all the tenants doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some of the tenants, there's some minor concerns like they don't know how to use the appliances. So we have our maintenance team to assist
Oh.
them go there to explain how to use it.
Oh, that's really nice.
Imagine if you are a unit owner, how tenant always call you how to use this one.
Adding to the already big list of problems that a unit owner has.
Yes.
You wake up at 5 in the morning. Hello, Mr. Landlord. How do you use your microwave? I don't know how to press the buttons. Oh.
So some of the property buildings that we manage is there's like modern appliances, built-in appliances,
Mm.
fully automatic appliances that some of the tenant is not really familiar with. So those kind of assistance, we are like helping those tenant, assisting them. Even they want to they ask for example, they want to install these things as long as the owner approve. They want to install an additional towel holder, and it's safe with the engineering rules that there's it's possible to install here, and then owners approve. So we're also assisting tenants.
Oh.
So there's a lot of things even in the maintenance side, like instead of looking for another source of maintenance team or another company to do cleaning, housekeeping, or even aircon cleaning, grease trap cleaning, we're supporting this tenant, so they don't need to look for another company or GSR,
Yeah.
help me. I need aircon cleaning. My aircon has problem. So this kind of system, we deliver the convenience stay by like we can access quickly.
Okay, kaya one-stop shop
Yeah.
talaga yung aim mo dyan to make sure that they don't have to look anywhere else and at least GSR can help no matter what problems may arise or questions they may have
Mm.
for the property. That makes sense as a business model to make sure that you can cover pretty much everything regarding the property. Do you ever
Yes.
have any problems with tenants that have pets? I'm saying
Ah,
yeah.
yes, we do have not really all.
Hmm.
Um, for example, we receive a complaint from the occupants beside our tenants that their dog is like night, like always
Oh,
barking at night.
palaging
It's
tumatawag
kind
na.
of disturbing.
Hmm.
So we had, but and then like for example, they parang their dogs is quite big and it's
Hmm.
scary in the elevators. So iba-iba pero yung problem na parang problem na more serious we haven't encountered as long the building property will approve the pets.
Okay.
There's a limit actually. It should be small pets only.
Hmm.
Like not exceeding 16 inches tall like that. But I'm not sure. It
Yeah.
depends on the property.
Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, it would be quite hard to keep a larger breed dog in a
Yeah.
20-30 square meter apartment. God, thinking about that is interesting because the building I live in does have a lot of pets. I think the biggest pet I've seen is a Shiba Inu, so definitely meets the 16-inch rule. I also have a cat or two or three that who I've cycled to and from with my homes, and one of them, at least one of them, ends up staying where I live. So that's why I asked about pets
Yeah.
to make sure that I can empathize with my landlord by the time the security deposit comes around, since cats are the scratchy type.
Siguro one of the reason why we don't have serious problem yet with the tenant with pets is we have this kind of contract, a pet addendum.
Oh, okay.
So this contract consists of the rules and regulations for having a pet, and then the consequence. So we are making arrangement with the tenant as long as it's approved of by the owner, and then it's fit on the building property rules. So that's okay. If I remember, the most serious parts that we encountered is we had this tenant and then they move out. After they move out, there's a lot of damages from the pet.
Yeah.
So bed mattress, the sofa, the flooring. But yes, because it's an arrangement and then the owner approve it and then security deposit will cover the damage, and then the tenant is very understandable that the tenant understand that he will shoulder this kind of damages. We replace the items. It's in the addendum.
Okay, that's good that
So
went well.
yes, because it's really hard to repair even scratches. You do upholstery, and then some of the pet owners, like, they cannot maintain the smell of the
The unit
the
anymore.
unit. Yes. So we're doing repaint. We're changing in the addendum. We're changing those furnitures that damaged by the pets. So it depends on the arrangement.
I see. That's good to know. And I like that there are contract stipulations and an understanding that, hey, if you have a pet, be prepared to shell out a good amount or even all of your security deposit,
Yes.
because the costs of having a pet in an apartment are very high.
Yes.
Whether
And
it's
then
a dog or a cat.
maybe some of our viewers also will ask, how can we monitor? Because, for example, we do have this 1 year tenant term, and then the tenant has a pet. So how can we monitor in 1 year, and then after 1 year it's so worse na, no?
Yeah.
So we had in the contract also, especially if the tenant has a pet, we had in the contract that we have the quarterly inspections. So quarterly inspection in 3 months, parang wala pang nangyaring medyo grabe pa yan.
Okay.
So we can check how they are taking care of the property, taking care of their pets. We can check. If it's in 3 months, medyo worse na. So what we do is we need to make another arrangement. We need to parang
make addendums to the
yes,
contract,
addendums to
etc.
the contract. Medyo seryoso na to. And then if hindi kami magkakaayos sa addendums, there's a possibility that we need to force terminate the contract.
Because it's to protect the
Yes,
unit
to protect the unit
from further damages.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if the tenant is basically abusing the unit,
Yes.
like
Medyo mahirap na sa part if after 1 year pa namin ma-check yung property. And even the tenant doesn't have any pet, we're doing this kind of quarterly inspection. So we need to check even the most basic part is the maintenance of the aircon. It should be quarterly. So we're checking if the aircon is quarterly maintained.
And stuff like the grease hood, range trap, etc.
Yes.
I remember seeing that in our
because if the aircon, like for 1 year you didn't clean the aircon and it's daily continuous using, so it could be the lifespan of aircon, it could be
lowered.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. It's even better than that you schedule these checkups quarterly, because at least not only are you protecting the unit, you're also protecting all of the appliances in the unit as well, and the furniture. Yeah, that makes sense.
Even the grease trap, if they for example, the tenant like loves to cook, always washing dishes, and then unfortunately those anong tawag dun? Yung mga maliliit na dumi, pag after mo mag-cook, napupunta sa lababo. So it will stuck in the grease trap, and then the tenant doesn't have any responsibility to clean it, or the tenant doesn't know. Pag yun nagbara, if it's clogged, there would be a leaking problem under
the sink.
No, the unit below.
Oh yeah, you're right, because the plumbing is interconnected. Yeah. Friendly reminder to all viewers who love to cook, please throw as a house chef myself, please wipe up your oil with paper towels and make sure all of the crumbs from your utensils and all of your kitchen appliances are also not thrown in the sink, to make sure that you don't give your downstairs neighbor hell. And even if you're not living in a condo unit, if you're living in a house, please make sure you do that so that you save on plumbing. Though if you do need help with that, GSR is there to help. We're a one-stop shop. We can repair that for you.
Because there's some properties that we had. These properties is just turned over to us. There's a
existing problem.
Yes, existing problem, and then it came from another property management company, or not a company, someone's handling those properties. Like, we encountered this problem, and then the reasons of those leaking below is those clog in the grease trap in the plumbing area. So it will lead to bigger expenses, damages, because you need to shoulder those repair of the ceiling
because of the water damage. So they have to. Grabe yun na. It escalates and it cascades really quickly. Kung ganyan.
Yes, those plumbing plant piping is connected all. Beside unit, the unit below, upper unit, it's all connected. So we need to secure that thing.
All right. Well, what other common problems do you have with tenant management? Like the most common, according to all of the tenants that GSR has managed so far. So pets are one thing, and furniture maintenance is another. What's another common tenant pitfall that you have to deal with?
Yes, another common thing. It's minor only, but it's a lot. Like those tenants has guests. Those tenants will leave the country for vacations. So those tenants has, for example, needs assistance with the amenities. So it's more on coordinations only. So our property management team is coordinating with the building admin to allow this one, like guests, allow this amenity reservations. So those things lang also. Pero from the property that we have, medyo marami na daily, we encounter this daily.
Oh,
Hmm.
how do you keep up with all that? Like, do you just communicate via Viber, text message, and the like? Do you just monitor yung mga sock meds?
Yes, it's through email. Through email. So with the tenant, we have this. Every tenant, we had a group chat with every tenant,
Yeah.
including our maintenance team. It depends on their concerns.
Hmm.
And then we, in our property management team, we had a customer support. So we have a Japanese customer support. We have a Filipino customer supports also. So those customer support is the one coordinating with the tenant, and then this customer support is will update or inform the admin through email. So there's a record also.
Okay. That way you get to monitor your red and blue flag tenants a little more closely.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, it's all coming together now. This has given me a much better
Yes.
look into the back end of taking care of tenants from the landlord's point of view.
Another part of tenant management is like even the move in, move out, the maintenance of the unit. Another part of the tenant management. Some of the tenants also ask because some of the tenants, like, I could say they are quite satisfied with the property management service. So
Yeah.
some of the tenant is like referring another tenant or a friend
okay.
to lease out. So those things also, so we are supporting them. So for example, or even they want to transfer for a bigger property, bigger unit, so a repeated tenant. So this kind of support, we have our leasing team also to support to find another property for them. Or some of them, they change like work location, so we need to find a property near on their work. So this kind of support, we're also supporting those
That's
tenants.
nice. I like that you also help out with tenant aftercare since the tenant needs to move to a different area, right? Well, it's technically not in your wheelhouse anymore since they're moving away from your property, and yet you're still helping them. That's nice. That's
Yes,
great.
some of the tenants even asking, especially those foreigners that doesn't have any experience yet, which restaurant you want to recommend, like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
I like that.
assisting for the installations of internet, anything. Even there's a pest control assistance. It depends. And then they want to know, like, where should I like purchase this kind of thing. So those, we are very connected with the tenant, like, daily. It's like a commitment in their term, during their term.
I'm glad it fosters community in that way, and it's very humanizing. It makes sure it's our way of making sure that as long as they're in a property that's affiliated with us, that they have a support system to fall back to. I really like that. Okay, so do you have any parting words of advice to me as a tenant to make sure that I can be a better tenant to any property management companies I'm under or any landlords? What would you say you like the most, or what would you say is your favorite quality to have in a tenant when they rent a property from you?
Siguro just treat your unit as your own property, and then understand the owner's arrangement with you also, especially on
Stuff like pets and furniture.
stuff like pets, protecting their assets, paying on time. So if you cannot pay on time, it's okay as long as you inform ahead with some of the owners is very understandable.
That's great.
As long as you inform ahead with them, make another arrangement with them, it's okay. So it's more on communications. So being a good, for me, I also a tenant before. I'm also a tenant before. So making a good communications with the landlords or with your brokers or agent, even with the admin, I think that's the advice that I could give with the tenant.
All right. That's wonderful parting words to live by. Thank you so much, Syrian. This has
Thank
been very
you.
informative once again.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who hung out with us for this today's premiere of this GSR episode. If you liked what you saw and if you'd like to see more and watch previous episodes, you can follow our socials on Linktree. We also are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Music. And to learn more about us, what we're about, contact us for any other one-stop shop real estate stuff that you might need. We have our website at www.gsr-ph.com. That's www.gsr-ph.com. I'm your host, Jose Angelo Zulueta, and this has been Mr. Ian Cipriano.
Thank you, everyone.
And see you guys in the next episode.
See you.
Bye.
For all of your property needs, come to Global Strategy Real Estate, GSR. We at GSR are your one-stop shop for anything related to your property and more. From management to buying, selling, documentation, and maintenance, we have your back. At GSR, we aspire to provide the level of quality and service which put Japan on the map as one of the hallmarks of hospitality. Let us manage your property today.